Hi, I hope you guys are having a good night. I've decided that I need to share my story a little bit. And because I tend to be really long-winded, I'm going to do it this way so that I can edit it a bit so that you aren't listening and listening and listening. Okay, so I have been through the ringer, just like everybody else. About my most recent brush with that, there were a lot of things before that, including losing somebody who I thought was the love of my life to suicide, and a few other things. Losing my first love of a career, which was singing opera, and teaching was an even bigger love. And I had to remold myself and reinvent myself, and I found myself really putting myself to the task of this at age 50. And I was like, and right around then, I'm 52 now, right around then, in fact, 2 years ago, April, this past April, 2 years ago, I found myself very sick with my MS, and I was in bed. I was bedridden. I did get up a little bit, but not very much. And I was still taking care of my mother, who was only 2 years ago, 94 at the time. She's 96 now, as you probably know from all of my posts. And I had given up my job because I was only making a dent in our budget by about $35 plus a week by the time I paid all my lunches away and all that. And I thought, no, I can use that time and shop more frugally. I just know. So then I started the whole crusade of let's find something to make money. And about a year after that, I started a channel called My Independence. And the whole purpose of the channel was basically, I'm 50, I have to find a way to support myself. Because right now I live on my mother's retirement income, which my father, who was a retired, he passed away, but he was a retired Reverend Colonel. So he had a really good retirement income that she gets, and then she has her own state teacher's retirement from Ohio, which is also very decent. So we live okay. Of course, we could do better, right? But anyway, so I really have a fire lit under my rear end that I've got to make a living. And one of the things that I'm passionate about, of course, is taking care of my mom, and that's what I'm gonna devise my masterminds around. That being said, it's got to happen soon, because it's time, right? And I really want it to start rolling because I want to go to that Tony and Dean event so badly. And I will crew or whatever I have to do, if that's even a possibility at this point. But I really just, I want to get there. I don't want to miss that. I mean, it's only the first time once in a lifetime, right? I mean, they may do it again, but it's only the first time once in a lifetime. So anyway, I'm going to get myself there by hook or crook. And anyway, that's kind of, see, now I lost my thread. I'm very genuine, but I lose my thread all the time. I'm kind of all over the place, which is why this whole idea appealed to me, because my MS, part of my problem is cognitive. And when I do videos, because I've become really good at editing, I can edit things out and that kind of stuff. So it it's just a really good way to deal with it. So anyway, so 2 years ago, I was in bed, and I knew what the problem was. I've done Master University. I've done Tony Robbins Leadership, which is one of the reasons why the death of my friend hit me so hard, because he was right in front of me. And I had all of this knowledge from leadership, and I didn't do anything. And that was a real blow. And it wasn't an ego blow. It was more like, oh my God, I could have done something, and I was right there. And yeah, but he was hiding it and a whole bunch of other things. But anyway, they all sound like excuses, of course, So, anyway, 2 years ago, I started this journey towards my own independence. And about it's almost a year now. I'm like 100 days away from 180, something like that, of recording daily. I call it glogging, but that's only because I didn't realize journaling and vlogging together didn't. Anyway, I was in a really kind of crazy, confused kind of place when I started it. But I didn't have a peer group, and I decided that I would make the world my peer group. And if I said, because I know myself, if I said on my, I'll still call it a glog because I still think it's fun. If I said on my glog I was going to do something, by gum, I was going to do something. So that's how I held myself accountable and just took baby steps. It was not quick. There were some days when I recorded laying down because I wasn't healthy enough to be any other way. I am very gratefully up a whole bunch now. One of the worries of my recent thing with my mom, because she's been in, if you haven't caught on yet, she's been in the hospital and now she's in rehab, and she's got a thing called sundowners, and that means that she doesn't know where she is after the sun goes down. She'll ask questions like, are we going to sleep here tonight? Well, she's been there for 9 days now. So we need to get her healthy enough to get home, but somebody has to be with her 24 hours, because the one time I was away from her, she got so hysterical that she threw up, and then the doctor thought it was a virus, and it wasn't that. She was just completely panicked because I wasn't there. And I'm not saying I'm that important, but I am her touchstone, and so I just have to be there. Anyway, but one of the things that was a worry was that it would be too much for me and that I'd wind up sick and in the hospital myself, which of course is totally not okay. And, if I go down, the whole ship goes down here. So that's not great. But my brother came through and he's here now and helping. And so he's doing the night shifts, and I'm coming home and sleeping in my bed, and then I'm there during the whole day. So anyway, that's about it. I haven't really done what I said I was going to do, but the My Independence thing was because I found myself at 50 not having a direction and not having a career anymore, and everything that I had, I still have, I still have student loan debt of, it's probably $300,000 now, because I never got into a position where I could pay it back. And I want to pay it back. It's just not an option for me not to pay it back. And there are a lot of things that I could just sit back. I also applied for disability a year ago. And honestly, when I was denied, was one of the biggest blessings to me, because I just decided, I mean, part of it is because a cognitive impairment is so hard to prove. It just is very, very hard to prove. And so there's that. Anyway, and part of the problem with proving a cognitive impairment is I'm super articulate, and you can tell, but like holding down a job and even just doing, like, if a manager tells me a task, I don't always remember. I just don't. It's just the way it is. I have that cognitive problem has become a huge blessing, because in creating systems to keep track of Mom, I have created systems to help Mom. So it's turned into this wonderful blessing, and I'm just so excited to share it with some other, especially Americans, who do the throw away their parents thing at the end, and it's because they're busy or whatever. But I really feel passionate that there is another option if it's wanted. And I have some of the keys to that kingdom, and I am very happy to share them. So that's it. I'm sorry this is so long. I really need to edit this. We'll see if I can. Sometimes you can't edit it. But thank you if you've listened to this whole thing. And I'm so privileged to be here. That's about it. Okay. All right. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful night. Take good care of yourself, and take good care of each other.